So, how many of you guys have scrolled or seen a celebrity or influencer's post on social media today? Well, in the past decade or so, many celebrities' influence on our society has spread primarily through the mass media, and they're gaining more and more followers every day. With climate change becoming more of an urgent problem to our planet, many celebrities have taken to the mass media platforms to share their thoughts on the issue. However, we question how their opinions affect the public narrative on climate change and whether or not it's seen in a positive or negative light. Hi, my name is Ethan, and I'm a current student at the University of Southern California, and I'm here with my research team.
Hi, my name is Kayla.
I'm Elizabeth.
And my name is Julia, and I will now be going more into depth to answering this question. So every time I see celebrities post about climate change, I would always wonder the effect it really had on the public. Today, I'm going to discuss celebrities and how what they say does or does not indeed affect the public. The research article I'll be sharing with you today questions how celebrities' green messages on Twitter influence public attitudes and behavioral intentions and how they're used to mitigate climate change. This is relevant to my team's research question because it talks about celebrity opinions and how they're used to influence the public. They tested 7 hypotheses, but today we will focus on the one that matters most closely for my team's research question. It also happens to be the first hypothesis that they tested, and it was that in celebrities' climate advocacy via Twitter, both hope and fear in celebrities' opinions will result in positive attitudes towards climate change mitigation than messages that were unrelated to climate change. As for the research methods, the study was a quantitative study because they used a survey to get their data. There were about 693 participants, and they used a convenient sample of college students that were 18 and over. As for the procedures, they were each given a random questionnaire off of SurveyMonkey with doctored tweets from Leonardo DiCaprio and Pharrell Williams. And deception was a really big part of this study. After reading the tweets, the respondents rated their risk awareness and their perceived response efficacy, their attitudes and behaviors towards climate change, mitigation, as well as their parasocial relationship to the celebrity. So here on the side, you can see an example of the tweet that they would have shown. At the end of the study, the respondents were debriefed about the deception that was used in the study. As for the measures, overall, there were 9 measures in the study, most of which were measured on a 7-point Likert scale. And some of the measures included risk awareness, their measure of attitude, their behaviors, their beliefs, their knowledge of climate change, and as well as emotional manipulation checks, which is how they tested for the fear and the hope within the respondents. As for the dependent variable, it would be the attitude, the governmental support, sustainable behavior, and their participation in climate change activism themselves. And the independent variables include the tweets that they manipulated for the survey. As for the results, the participants who received fear-framing messages reported perceiving the messages as more fearful than those who received hope-frame messages. This means that thus the manipulation of emotional framing was successful for fear, but not for hope. So here I will discuss some of the limitations and strengths. One limitations of this study is that despite the large sample size, the students all attended the same university, and these factors could have limited the study's results' generalizability. And to overcome these limitations, future studies could perhaps include older populations and would probably need to consider different celebrities' messages to increase their generalizability. One strength of the study is that they made sure to have all of the measures covered so that they could accurately describe the results from the data. I really hope that you were able to learn a little bit throughout my presentation and how celebrities affect public opinion on climate change. And finally, I would like to introduce you to my great teammate, Ethan, where he will discuss a little bit more about celebrity opinions and how they can affect the public narrative.
Thanks, Julia. So the research article I'll be going over analyzes whether or not we love or hate when celebrities speak up about climate change. And this article connects to our research question by identifying how persuasive celebrities are able to gain the interest in their followers and whether or not they're able to view advocacy towards climate change in a positive or negative way. So first off, this study contributes to the theoretical foundation of the role of celebrity advocacy using social media and whether or not on YouTube, whether or not YouTube leads to public attention and how they perceive celebrity involvement in climate change through the comments on their videos. So they overview Leonardo DiCaprio's 2014 UN Climate Summit speech, which is posted on YouTube. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Leonardo DiCaprio, he's a famous American actor and a big advocate for climate change. In this case, he's the most popular celebrity in promoting climate change action. And in order to identify the key concerns and themes of the viewers' comments in the video, a network analysis called full text is applied, which among the 972 comments on the Climate Summit video, the top 100 frequently used keywords that appear more than 29 times were identified with full text. And another analysis called Conquer was also conducted in order to reveal key themes and framing patterns in the viewers' comments. So Conquer would pretty much be useful in identifying relevant subtopics from these large amounts of text or these other comments. And so out of the most frequent words, an ego network is made, and this displays which words were connected to the climate change related term. And this will reveal the viewer's receptivity to the climate advocacy and attitude towards Leonardo DiCaprio. The ego network also displays the connection of concepts based on the occurrences around his name. And again, many of these were either negative or positive. So this study, all in all, found that most viewers were polarized in their judgment and attitude towards celebrity advocates, which suggests both potential advantages and disadvantages in using celebrity endorsements. However, many celebrity advocacies not only result in extensive public attention and voices on climate issues, but it also led to many further conversations, such as the causes and effects of global warming, and also just generated a number of public responses over time, which is great to bring attention to. So many of the strengths of the study is that they overview a good amount of comments, and they're able to sort out the top ones with the most frequent words, meaning there's a lot of variation in the information they're analyzing. However, a weakness to the study is that I suggested that they analyze at least one more video instead of just Leonardo DiCaprio's Climate Summit speech. Instead, I think they should analyze other celebrity endorsements or even advertisements. And so now Elizabeth will be taking over and going more in depth about Leonardo DiCaprio and its effects on climate change outside of his Climate Summit speech. Take it away.
Thank you, Ethan. I'll be continuing the discussion on Leonardo DiCaprio and climate change. Like you saw with his Climate Summit speech that Ethan just covered, DiCaprio is a huge advocate of climate change. As such, it's not just that one speech. DiCaprio has been asked to speak publicly on climate matters many times in the past, and today I will be reporting on his February 28, 2016 Oscars acceptance speech. The research article regarding DiCaprio's speech is called The Big Data Sensors of Organic Advocacy, the case of Leonardo DiCaprio and climate change. This article directly correlates with our research question. It focuses on a celebrity and their effects on how the public sees climate change, whether through social media or news. The article believes that the public's own ability to shape its narrative should not be overlooked. The researchers coined the term organic advocacy, in which independent public engagement with social media and social issues allows for a conversational and ever-growing new public narrative. With celebrities so often in the media now, they believe that there's a new platform for information to spread and analyze DiCaprio's speech as a way to understand just how much it's affected the public. The study also goes into detail with public interest in climate change and related matters during and after a speech, and as such ties into our research question in that we are studying how celebrities affect the public's views and interests on climate change. Regarding research methods, the researchers analyzed and counted Google searches for terms such as climate change and global warming by hour from February 25th through March 9th, 2016. They analyzed words specifically used by DiCaprio in his speech, such as hottest year, and looked for search volumes of such terms on social media and in Google Trends. They compared these search volumes with expected search volumes, and they calculated that using an autoregressive integrated moving average ARIMA model, a model that uses historical data to estimate expected volumes for a certain time period. They also differentiated between calculating search volumes of unrelated climate change terms, such as electric car, versus terms that DiCaprio for certain use. They then plot this information on graphs and plot diagrams, which allowed them to measure the effective change that the speech gave, and thus the DiCaprio effect. The study found that social media engagement on climate change spiked after Leonardo DiCaprio's speech. Twitter saw a significant increase in tweets, and a whole 636% more than expected, with over 250,000 tweets that day. And Google searches for climate change also saw a 261% increase the day he spoke, ending ultimately in a peak that became the third highest point on Google Trends for climate change. Topics not included in DiCaprio's speech did not see a similar increase, suggesting that it was purely DiCaprio's speech that affected the public's interest in climate change. This suggests that a popular celebrity advocating for a topic can greatly affect society's interest in it. As for limitations, the researchers mentioned how surveys are costly and not a good choice for organic advocacy. This is a possible limitation in that surveys may provide a more holistic scope of information. Only using Google Trends or data numbers could factor out a ton of nuanced situation or details. The researchers also mentioned that these barriers are why this phenomenon is not well researched yet. They're hoping for more methods of studying organic advocacy to come up in the next few decades. Ultimately, the researchers believe that the use of big media data is a very valuable method of social science research. They strongly advocate for further research in this style and for researchers to adopt the original advocacy model in order to bypass the barriers that come with this field of research. They believe that without this, we will not be able to fully understand media advocacy. Now, Kayla will continue the discussion.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Hello, everybody. Today, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the perception of celebrity opinions and the effectiveness of celebrities in environmental campaigns. Now, enough about Leo. Celebrity impact is way bigger than this once teenage heartthrob. We all have our favorite celebrities, and although we may not want to admit it, many of us are quick to agree or go along with their opinions without even being informed on the issues they present to us. Many companies and campaign creators know this and use it to their advantage. The research article I will be discussing today is a scoping review of celebrity endorsement in environmental campaigns and evidence for its effectiveness. The hypothesis being tested in this article is celebrity endorsement make environmental conservation campaigns more effective. Now, like many social science research experiments, there is a theory being tested. The theory being tested in this article is the source of attractiveness model. This model examines the perceived social value of a source. Often the word of some people can be seen as more valuable than others, creating this halo effect, meaning that one can say or do no wrong. Now, who people deem as more valuable can be impacted by cultural aspects. In this study, they will be examining the perceived value of celebrities. This experiment heavily relied on the expertise of its participants. They used 11 researchers who were experts in celebrity research, practitioners in celebrity relations, and they reviewed 79 campaigns with celebrity endorsements. Reviewing these articles needed to be a careful process, meaning they had to know what they were looking for. To effectively extract the correct data, they would reflect the effectiveness of each campaign. Researchers followed what they referred to as the 8 steps of celebrity intervention, also known as the 8 steps of evaluation. This includes 8 steps to guide researchers when reviewing the reviews of each campaign, from the identification of a celebrity and clear environmental issue to any evidence of its effectiveness. Results. The graph on the left is data collected from the 8 steps of evaluation. Ultimately, researchers found it very hard to gather measurable data, but were able to address the environmental issue within each review and evidence that each campaign was delivered to the public. As previously stated, one of the biggest limitations of this experiment was the lack of measurable data. 11 of the campaigns made claims of success based on the use of celebrities. The rest were unclear. All experiments have its strengths and limitations. But one of the biggest strengths of this experiment was that it was based off peer-reviewed articles, which helped its credibility. Something that also helped its credibility was the use of diverse reviewers, which also created an internal peer review system. The graph on the right shows the different types of celebrities used throughout the campaigns. This was also a big strength in the experiment, as it used a diverse group of celebrities, from actors, comedians, to politicians. Now, I know you're wondering, what can be gained from these inconclusive results? Each campaign went under. Now, I know what you're thinking. What can be gained from these inconclusive results? Each campaign went in under the impression that celebrity opinion would sway viewers' opinions regardless of prior information. The most common objective found for use of celebrity was to increase media coverage or to access elite spaces or people. Although the results may have been somewhat inconclusive, the data gathered from objective goals and key points of campaigns and the research articles help to understand how impactful society believes the power of celebrity is. I hope with all of our research articles, now you have a better understanding of the answer to our research question and how celebrities can affect public opinion.
Thank you, Kayla. That was awesome. As we discussed how celebrities affect the public opinion, we found that fear integrated into tweets does more than hope, that Leonardo DiCaprio has a large effect on the public and helps others engage in more conversations about climate change, and how overall celebrity advocacy furthers conversations about climate change.
A major limitation we found throughout the research articles and the research we did ourselves was that the research that exists is in its very early days, and we're unaware of the long-term implications that it actually has on the public.
However, research doesn't have to be done just by professional researchers or sociologists. As individuals in the public narrative ourselves, we can observe how we are affected by celebrity opinions in social media every day.
Thank you for attending our presentation. Next time you find yourself on social media, try to take notice of the celebrity opinions and see if they have an effect on you.
Thank you.
Thank you.